What's good, boy dudes and boy dudettes? And today we got another Disney movie review, and it is Sleeping Beauty, a 1959 American animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney based on The Sleeping Beauty by Charles Perrault. It's the 16th Disney animated feature film in the Disney canon and was released in theaters on January 29th, 1959 by Buena Vista Distribution. It was the last Disney adaptation of a fairy tale for a long time because of its initial mixed critical reception and underperformance at the box office. The studio did not return to the genre until 30 years later after Walt Disney died in 1966 with the release of Little Mermaid. The film was directed by Les Clark, Eric Larson, and Wolfgang Reitman under the supervision of Clyde Geronimo, with the additional story work of a lot of other people who I can't bother to name. And the film's musical score and songs featuring the work of Granuyuk Symphony Orchestra under the direction of George Bruns are arrangements or adaptations of numbers from the 1890 Sleeping Beauty ballad by Piotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky. That's the name. However, unlike the previous feature films, this was the first Disney feature film that did not have the same background animation material, but instead with new background animation materials. That does not make sense. However, unlike the previous feature films, this was the first Disney feature animation and did not have the same background animation material, but instead the new... That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that script was saying. Anyway, it is what it is. Sleeping Beauty was the first animated feature to be photographed in the Super Technicolor 70 widescreen process, as well as the second full-length animated feature film to be filmed in anamorphic widescreen, following Disney's own Lady and the Tramp 4 years earlier. And yeah, it's a pretty wide movie when you look at it. And what is this movie all about? Well, it is literally what it is in the title, Sleeping Beauty. Filled with jealousy, the evil witch Maleficent, voiced by Eleanor Audley, curses Princess Aurora, voiced by Mary Costa, to die on her 16th birthday. Thanks to Aurora's guardian fairies, Verna Felton, Barbara Jo Allen, Barbara Lodi, those were the voices. She only falls into a deep sleep that can be ended with a kiss from her betrothed Prince Philip, voiced by Bill Shirley. To prevent Philip from rescuing Aurora, Magnificent kidnaps and imprisons him. The good fairies are the last hope to free Philip so he can waken Aurora with true love's first kiss. So typical of the time. Oh my gosh. The animation style moved away from the rococo and of Cinderella, and also does not simply draw on fashion and female beauty standards of the time, and draws upon distinctive visual combination of medieval art imagery and art deco design. And it doesn't have that it kind of has Mary Blair's flair, but you can see that it's starting to lose its spark in a way, to be honest with you. Because of the artistic depth of Earl's backgrounds, it was decided for the characters to be stylized so that they could approximately match the backgrounds. With the layout artists and animators were impressed with Earl's paintings, they eventually drew depressed at working with a style that many of them regarded as too cold, too flat, and too modernized for a fairy tale. Nevertheless, Walt insisted on the visual design, charming that the inspirational art he commissioned in the past had inspired him in a way. And a lot of people did complain that it had a very rigid design, and it felt it was very problematic than working with the Mary Blair designs, and it was very rigid in a way in terms of like the way the characters were drawn and shaped. And I do like the way the characters are in the movie, to be honest with you. I do like the visual look of the designs, and I do get why people were like, the animators were a bit like, whoa, because some of the designs of these films have these very sharp edges, like, and it's very rigid and it's like very sharp and spiky. You look at Philip, his hair is spiky and pointy. His chin is pointy. There's a lot of points, and the background is very different. Very different. It is not Mary Blair at all. I don't know what the hell that is, but it looks amazing. And this is the thing I love about this film, is the background. I just look at the background. Look at the backgrounds. Look at the backgrounds. They look so nice. And they really do work. They really do work. It's a very different art design, you know, very different, very different. Very, very different, and I like it. I really like it. Eyvind Earle joined the Walt Disney Productions in 1951, first employed as an assistant background painter for Peter Pan, to becoming a full-fledged background painter in the Goofy cartoon From Whom the Bulls Toil. And for Sleeping Beauty, he felt totally free to put his own style into the paintings he based on John Hench's like artistic look. And he was an artist at Disney for some time, and yeah, the backgrounds just have this very distinct look. They're very different, and I don't know, they kind of make me feel uncomfortable because they're so detailed, and then you have these very simple looking like character designs, you know. But I think that's why the characters were designed the way they are. They have this very angular, stylized way of like moving, and it's very edgy looking, and it's kind of uncomfortable when you look at it. It makes me feel off, you know, but I think it works in the world, and at the same time I like it. I like the design. I think it looks great. The animation is really nice, particularly the final fight with a dragon, which looks amazing. Magnificent is a great villain. She's just so sly and evil and just despicable, and she's just so jealous of Aurora. Her design is so unique. I love her dark black cloak with purple, and she reminds me a little bit of the Wicked Witch of the from the movie what was that film called, The Wizard of Oz. She does remind me of her a lot, and I like it. I love the design. The three fairies also have very unique character designs and personalities. I like them. I flipping love that. But I feel like the fairies are the only very Disney looking characters in the film, because they're very round, they're very bouncy looking, compared to the very rigid and like sharp kind of like distorted looking bodies. And like, look at flipping Aurora's stomach. She has no stomach at all. I don't know what's going on with that girl, but I like the design. I think it's nice, and the music is also really lovely, and I think it works with the dreamy looking backgrounds, even though they kind of look horrifying at times, which is kind of ironic in a way. But in terms of mixed and negatives, Princess Aurora is the most blandest Disney character of all time. She has no personality, she has no motivation, she's just dull, and she's asleep throughout the majority of the film. Prince Philip doesn't really, I mean, yeah, he's your typical Disney hero, he saves the day, but for some reason, they didn't have him talk towards the end. Like, I don't know why he wasn't speaking, like, towards the end, which was a bit weird, and I never really understood that. But apart from that, this movie is kind of a bore, to be honest with you. It's not a movie I want to watch again and again and again. It's one I'd watch every 3 or 4 years if I feel like it, because it just doesn't have that rewatch value to it. It's not a rewatchable film, and I don't really like it that much, to be honest with you. I think it's mediocre in terms of the story. It's very predictable. It's very predictable. It's very predictable. And with that, I'm going to give Sleeping Beauty, I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B just because the animation is amazing to look at. But I'm going to have to give it a 6 out of 10 for like the story. The story is weak as flip. The whole love at first sight is done once again in this movie. I mean, it did it with Snow White where, I mean, not really much with Snow White. Snow White was kind of, you know, nervous again. But with Aurora, she's like, oh, who are you? I don't know you. And then all of a sudden, oh, you're handsome. I want to marry you all of a sudden. And then you have that, I saw you once upon a dream. And it's just, yeah, they just fall in love instantly. And that is so Disney. Like, you do not go to a forest, you hear a girl singing, and then you're like, I'm in love with this girl. I want to marry her right now. Marry me right now. And it's like, oh, come on. But I guess that's the thing I like about this film. It is the music, you know. The music, that, like Once Upon a Dream, and the score is really great. Flip. I've never given a movie a B and a 6 out of 10 because I love the animation and the art style, but at the same time, I can't stand. If anything, I'm going to give the animation an A. An A. And I'm going to give like the story like a C minus, just because it's kind of basic and simple. But thank you for watching this review. Please like and share this video. Comment down below, tell me what's your favorite Disney flick. Do you like this film? With that said, thank you for watching. As always, Boyd is signing out.